Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and a new series I'm trying out here, which is going to be brand favorites. I really like videos where people kind of go into their collection and choose a brand that encompasses maybe a bigger part of their collection, and they just show off some of their favorites within the scope of that brand specifically. Because for me, I like certain brands for certain reasons, and so it kind of reflects my taste and what I choose from that brand. And I like to see how people's tastes differ from mine. Even when we like the same brands, we might like completely different polishes. So I just think it's kind of fun. And it also helps expose me to polishes within that brand that I may have never seen. They might be from like older collections or just polishes that I never considered before. There's plenty of polishes where I've seen online and I've like saw on the website and I just go, oh, that's fine, whatever. I'm not really interested. And then I see someone actually show it off, show it on the nails, show a swatch, whatever. And I'm like, oh, wow, that looks completely different than what I thought. And then, of course, I add it to my wish list. So that's kind of what this video is going to be. And I'm going to, every once in a while, just choose a new brand for my collection. I'm trying to choose brands where I have like a pretty good, sizable collection that I could choose favorites from. So today we're going to start with China Glaze. China Glaze is one of the biggest brands in my collection. I think that Zoya just recently surpassed it, but I have 122 China Glaze nail polishes. Now, I really like China Glaze because I feel like out of all the mainstream polishes, they're always doing the most frequently like interesting finishes. They're more likely to do like fun glitters in every collection, different, like they'll throw mattes in here and there. Just like the most unique, I would say, if I look at a China Glaze collection versus like OPI, for example. And they get the most interesting, in my opinion, collaboration IPs. You know, they've done My Little Pony, they did The Giver, they've done, what do we got? Sesame Street. You know, they get a lot of like really interesting brand collabs, which, you know, that sure helps sell stuff to people who might otherwise not buy it. But at the same time, it's also just kind of fun to see something that you enjoy inspire something else you enjoy. You know, like I love the Sesame Street nail polishes because when I was a kid, I was obsessed with Sesame Street. So it's kind of fun to see something that I'm nostalgic for in turn inspire a nail polish, I guess. You know, it's just like seeing something you loved in a hobby you love now, you know? And so that's kind of my feelings on China Glaze, just the most interesting finishes. I do have a few creams in here, so it's not to say that I don't buy China Glaze creams, but they are mostly like very vibrant, bright, like neon-y type China Glazes. So the way I went about this was I picked the brand and then I just started writing down the top polishes that popped into my head, the ones that I was just like, these are the ones that I think of when I think of China Glaze. And then I had a pretty good sizable amount, but then I pulled out my drawers just to make sure, and I kind of just from the top down view was immediately like, oh, here's a couple more that I know that I love from China Glaze. And if I was to rebuy my China Glaze collection, this is probably where I would start. So let's just go one by one, and I'll talk just briefly about each polish. So up first is Autumn I Need That, and initially I did literally just buy this for the name. I thought it was funny, I thought it was cute, and it's hard to show off, but in the bottle you can really see in the sunlight just a lot of fun, like, I don't know if it's holographic, it has to be, there's a rainbow popping off of it, holographic glitter in kind of a like ruddier, reddy brown base. And it's a really unusual polish for me. I don't have anything else like this in my collection. Of course, I'd probably say that about most polishes because you have to justify it somehow, right? But it is really unique to me. I think that it's really pretty. I think it suits the season that it's named for. And like I said, it's just really unique to my collection, and I really think it's beautiful. The second polish is one that I think everybody kind of buys as like a staple China Glaze nail polish, and that is 4-Leaf Clover. I actually have 2 bottles of this because I got a second one when I bought this other girl's collection, so that tells you it's definitely a staple. And it's just a really fun, would you call it teal? like just a very vibrant teal color. This is one that's hard to pick up on the camera, but I really like these kind of vibrant neon-y leaning tones from China Glaze. I think that the formulas on these types of polishes from China Glaze are awful. They're just terrible. But the color is beautiful. And you'll see that again with my next polish, which is Flip Flop Fantasy, of course. Worst formula on any nail polish I've ever owned. But it is such a cool color. I think that this color would look good on anybody. I think it's like a fun, beachy toe manicure, pedicure. And I really love this polish, which is why I haven't let go of it yet, because despite how horrible the formula is to work with, it is such a beautiful color. Another favorite of mine from China Glaze is Don't Be Sea Salty. Now, I'm not sure if you can see it, but it does have like a really fine, glittery, is it glitter? It's almost like a flaky shimmer running through it. And this polish is not 100% opaque. It does have kind of a jellyish quality, and it does dry down matte. You can throw a glossy top coat over if you want. You know, I think this looks good matte or glossy. But it's just another one of those really vibrant colors that I really enjoy from China Glaze. Here's another one that I kind of bought for the name, and then I ended up just really liking the color itself, and that is Pleather Weather. It's kind of a blue-leaning gray, and this one does dry down matte. I wore this probably last month or the month before, and it was just a really, really pretty matte color. I usually don't buy polishes solely because they're matte, because that's what matte top coat is for. But I think this one is really pretty. I like the tone of the gray, and I really like the name. I think it's just a cute name. So for the next 6, I'm absolutely kind of cheating here, and I'm throwing an entire collection in because I do genuinely love this whole collection, and I did really want this whole collection. And it's actually the first time I ever bought a whole collection in one go, and that is the China Glaze Paint It Black collection. Now, I know there's a white kind of alternative to this collection, and I've considered buying it just to have them both, but really for me it was the black one that I just had to have, and if I ever buy the white one, you know, it'll be fine, whatever. But this is just, it was such a cool concept to me at that point in my collecting, because I'd never seen anything be like, let's take one color and just do 6 different things with it. And I just love that. I think that there are brands that actually just do that with, you know, the Roy G. Biv every color, but this was my first experience with it, and so I just think it's such a cool idea. Let me just go through them one by one really quick. We have Ash and Burn, which is like a black base, and it has kind of like a gold, like a really fine gold glitter running through it. We have Malibu, which is a holographic black polish here. We have Shadies and Gentlemen, and this is a matte black. Is it Pret-a-Potion? Pret-a-Potion? I don't say it very well. This one's like more of a topper, I would say, if you do one coat. It's a really, I think it's a clear base. You can't tell looking at it because it's so packed with these really tiny black circle glitters. I think they're circles, they might be hex, but yeah, it's completely jam-packed. You could get this opaque if you wanted, but I don't really see a point in that. I feel like it's better as a topper. And then I think this is probably my favorite in the collection. This is Night and Sleigh, and this is like a thicker glitter. It's got black glitter and it's got hollow silver hollow glitter. It looks really pretty. It's very reflective, which is another reason why I like a lot of China Glaze hollow, is that for a mainstream, I feel like they do some pretty reflective stuff compared to other brands that try to do hollow stuff. And then the last color in this collection is Wicked Liquid, and this is like a greeny black. I guess it's black. I feel like this is kind of the outlier in the collection because it definitely appears way more green, but it does have like a black lean to it. And I just thought that whole collection was super cool, super fun. I believe it was released around like the Halloween time, so it just kind of added to the theme of it all. And whenever I think of China Glaze, I always think about that collection. Next is Dashboard Dreamer. Now this, I feel like it's actually showing up darker on camera than it actually is. This is a really, really light blue. Like, if you're not paying too much attention, it looks almost white. And it has a fine, it's not quite pink. It's just like a pearlescent shimmer. But this polish doesn't have that kind of gross pearl look when you try to paint it on and it gets super streaky. So I really like this. I just think the color is really pretty. It's especially good for like a spring manicure, just a really light pastel-y type color, but it has a little bit extra in there with that shimmer. So that's why I chose this one. I don't know why this one has drawn me in so much because it doesn't seem like that exciting of a color. But I just remember every time I would go on Trans Design and I'd like throw stuff in my cart, this one just really stood out to me. So this is kind of one that I keep in my forever collection. Next, I talked about this in, I think, the last Topic Tuesday, but it is Zombie Zest. Now, I don't know how I managed to get my hands on it. Well, I mean, I got my hands on it because I bought a girl's collection. I keep saying that, but this is one that I feel like is really sought after amongst China Glaze collectors because it's not that easy to get, and among the people who do like it, they really like it. I used to watch Miss Holly Berry's back when she did nail polish, and I think she had like 2 or 3 of these because she would go through them. Like, she wanted to have all these backups. So this is one I don't think I'll ever be able to get my hands on again. So I'm trying to use it kind of sparingly because it is such a beautiful color. But actually, I do think that Moonshine Manny might have a dupe for this. I'd have to look and check because her dupes are really good. So maybe I'll get one of those and do a little comparison and see. Next is another bright from China Glaze, and that is That's Shore Bright. It is a bright purple, which I love purples. They make up, I think, the biggest portion of my collection. And so when I saw this, you know, I had to have it. And I just think that, like, these 3 just look really fun together. So when I think of one, I think of the other 2. So all 3 had to come in here. We have a Sesame Street collection polish, which of course we do. And it is #ThisIsMyStreet. Now, when I first saw this one in the bottle, I just thought that it looked like a really plain, dull glitter. And it is a little bit muted, right? But I wouldn't call it dull at all. Like, it is really reflective. I don't know if you can kind of tell, like, there's a lot going on in there. And it's just like, when you see the colors close up of the hollow glitters, there's like silver, but then there's like these really like pastel-y, very light washed out, like blue, pink, and yellow. And it kind of reminds me of like watching a really old episode of Sesame Street, because who hasn't done that, right? No. But they just look a lot more washed out and like palette, and the color palette. So I think that this really captures kind of like the old episodes of Sesame Street, stuff that I grew up with as a kid. And I am glad I took the time to appreciate this, because at first I just kind of wrote it off and I just bought it because it was part of the collection and I wanted all the Sesame Street ones. But now it's like my favorite one of the Sesame Street collections. And then last is just this one is called Fat Santa. I just love, like I've said before, I'm a sucker for these kind of like jelly candy reds, and this fell right into that category. I got this when I bought that girl's collection, and I'd never seen it before that. It has a green that came from the same collection, I think, same finish, and so they look really good together. But I do really love this as just like a Christmas color. I think that I reach for this one more around the Christmas time solely because of like the name, but it's just the perfect red for this season, I think. So how do you guys feel about my top China Glazes? Let me know down below what your like top list of China Glaze would be. Like, if you had to restart your entire China Glaze collection, what are the first ones you would buy? Whether they're limited edition or not, I really want to know, because I do really like this brand. I think it's a really good, sturdy brand of nail polish, and I'm always looking to buy more nail polish, as we all know. So yeah, let me know that down below in the comments, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.